All right, welcome back. This is WUB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. It's a Thursday morning. I'm in the driver's seat this morning. Nuri Muhammad is my name. And we have some guests coming in now. They are from the Optimist Club. Optimist Club. We have there, I was going to say the man with the beard, but it looked like two and ain't got beard. So the guy on the right is a good, close friend of mine for many, many years. He's Mr. Wayne Moody. He is a master teacher. He calls himself a minister of ministering yourself. And we're going to get a little bit into that today, Wayne. We also have Mr. Bernard Panton. Welcome, Mr. Panton.
Thank you, Brother Nuri.
Also
Morning,
a
my
member.
mentor.
So let me get directly into starting firstly. And firstly, welcome, gentlemen. Let's start
Thank
first
you.
with what is the Optimist Club? We'll start with you, Mr. Panton.
Okay, sure. Brother Nuri, before I start, good morning, everyone. I'd like to say that I've been watching you ever since I was a young boy,
Oh my
hosting these
goodness.
TV shows. So it's a pleasure and honor to actually be on one of your shows now.
Oh, sir.
So thank you for having us this morning, and hats off to you, Brother Nuri.
All right.
Really appreciate what you've been doing all these years.
Okay.
But
Thank you.
getting into Optimist Club for everyone Belize, we're a second chapter chartered in the country of Belize, of a larger organization, Optimist International. And our main mission is to provide a positive vision and future for first youths, community, and ourselves. We have a countrywide movements having directors represent regions within the country of Belize, and we spread optimism on a daily basis, just participating in daily activities with schools, institutions, and also having annual events as a club in the country of Belize. So that's pretty much who we are. And
Okay.
we are a non-profit organization. We were chartered in 2021. So we're in this movement for approximately 3 to 4 years now.
Well, Wayne, let me go to you. As I said, we have worked together for many, many years. For the sake of posterity, make I just mention that we worked along with former general of the BDF, General Authors. We also had on that team the superintendent of the prison, Mr. Bernard Adolphus, and yourself as a young counselor, and I'm talking 28 years ago, and myself also in that on that team. But you have moved on now. You've become a teacher in your own right. And from what I've been reading from the texts and the messages that you've been sending me, you are very much into this optimism and looking at the optimum aspect of our personality and our life in general. So can you start then with what really is the objective of this optimist? Because we know when we talk about optimistic, we're usually talking upward as opposed to pessimistic. So can you help us to understand how you apply this in an organization like the Optimist Club?
Well, I want to go at the very beginning reference to my relationship with Optimus. And I was living in the States, and Ray Gongora, who was one of the founding members, reached out to me and asked me if I can donate a sewing machine for a sewing program that they did in Belize. And I said yes. With that, he connected me to Bernard, who then invited me to be a member. I was a member in the diaspora. And fast forward, the work that I do as a life coach, I end up becoming Bernard's life coach. So I've been supporting his dream. So, but Optimus continues to support the community. And like he said earlier, working with the youths or communities and ourselves. And this is a part of my journey as far as contributing to Optimus as a volunteer. So I have a volunteer membership. Whenever I can support, I come in and I support. And more recently, being back in Belize, I'm here more in person. So I'm contributing now, not just virtually, not just from a distance, but as a part of the diaspora back home. I'm actually throwing in my pound of flesh with the organization. And the fundraiser coming up, which is a annual fundraiser, and I've been a part virtually, but this is the first time I'm actually going to be on the ground in Belize to do. And we're not afraid of work. But when it comes to Optimus, it's about truly seeing the glass half full and not so much half empty. And it's all about how we see things. So, and I'm very much happy to be here this morning to
Yeah.
support in that capacity. And
I want
what I do
to
empowering.
dwell a little bit on that area about half full glass compared to half empty glass. Yesterday I was talking to someone and they were highlighting to me how depressed some people seem to be. Whether they are depressed by their own financial or domestic issue that they're dealing with, or just the way some people look at what's going in our society today, and they end up being very depressed. In other words, looking at their situation as a half empty glass, as opposed to looking at what they have and appreciating as a half full glass. So in your work, and I imagine all of this Optimist Club is kind of focusing on coaching young people about their life and looking positively. How do you apply that? And I'm not talking now just about donations and fundraising, but actually one-on-one. How do you approach this idea of infusing hope to where some people seem so hopeless?
I like the word you use, infusing hope, right? And recently I came up with an acronym for HOPE, which is helping other people evolve, And honestly, transformation begins with us acknowledging where we are, being honest with where we are, taking responsibility for where we are, and where we go from there is imagine where we'd love to be. Because if I'm not aware of where I'm at, and you give me a compass, I don't even know where to go. So I have to first acknowledge where I'm at. I mean, I know, for example, our ancestors were slaves, but I'm not a slave. We have a history, but we're not our history. But we can envision where we'd love to go, and that's how we start. We at least have to acknowledge where we are, and reference to the optimism, gratitude, I know, prepares us to receive more, and rightly so. We can compare ourselves with other people, but I need to be grateful for the fact that today I'm alive. I'm grateful that I'm home in Belize. I'm grateful that I can breathe fresh air. I'm grateful that I have some food. Someone might have no food, but how do you tell that person to be grateful? If there's anything we can be grateful for is the fact that we're breathing and we're still here today. The question is, what am I going to do with this time that I have? And that's about where we start, acknowledging where we are. And, we can look at our society today and there's so many ills. Many folks were telling me, why go back to Belize? Why you went back to Belize? Suppose they kill you. Why? And I'm like, what better place to be than home? What better place to live my last quarter than in Belize? So as far as optimism, I do believe that there is hope, and there are those who might feel hopeless. And I believe that's what our young people, that's what our people, that's what our nation needs right now. And you will have hope when you have a promise that is fulfilled. But if you have a promise that has not been fulfilled, then you start feeling hopeless. And I must say, in the years of our lives, you and I working together, we have always endeavored to give our young people hope. And you and I were more targeting those who were considered disenfranchised. And we always let them know that we believe in them, no matter where they've been, no matter what they've done, no matter what situation they've found themselves in. We got to tell them, and we got to let them know that we believe in them, because Allah believes in them. They've been given gifts and talents and abilities, but many have been told that they're nothing. They don't have any value.
Well,
And can I add to
yeah,
that?
I
Can I
want you
add to
to
that
I want you
question,
to
Brother
jump
Moody?
in there because yeah, go ahead, brother.
Definitely. So there's a thing called mentorship, right? And we're lacking mentorship in Belize, especially from a youth perspective. Now, I'm not saying that mentorship does not exist, but in the places that we need it the most, on a consistent basis, is where we want to go. And meeting a friend in Coach Moody, Wayne Moody, and also like a figure, a heroic figure. It's something different for youths in Belize. I mean, I could attest myself. The first time I met Brother Moody, the vibration that he was coming in on was different, like no other, like I've never seen before. But you realize as time goes by that your behavior and your shine on the reflection of self. And this is what mentor teaches you. I mean, you could have challenge day, but I'm realize life as goes by that every day is a challenge. That is why we're alive. But out of that challenge, you have to find opportunities. Out of the half filled glass that we're talking about, look a half empty glass we're talking about. Look at it half filled and be optimistic about the amount of resources and successes that you've had in life. You know, every day you count your blessings and you wake up tomorrow and you're grateful and thankful for another day. So I believe just coming back and driving it home, the mentorship is very important. And we believe in collaborating with other organizations or other individuals who has the same drive and motive we do. But we have to as a company. You can't move that, you can't move you can be brothers, children, and sisters, fellas. So I just want to say that Wayne Moody has inspired me a lot. And what we're pushing and echoing through optimism is mentorship. You know, when Moody mentors me, I mentor other colleagues and brothers around me, and that's the way we spread optimism on a daily basis.
All right. Let me make it a little bit challenging for you by creating a scenario, and then you could tell me how do you deal with this scenario. I am a young boy. I'm 15 years old. I had to drop out of school because the circumstances in my area just did not permit me to be a regular in school. The financials was not there. Even though my mother was able to get one little bit of help to get me going, she could get some school fees, but then I still had problem with the way I dress. I never got tennis. I never got the things that I really need. So I decided to drop out of school. And I do my only hustling in the neighborhood. I don't want to get in a nothing criminal, but sometimes I sell my weed because I have to do something to make sure that I could survive. I try to stay away from police. They may pick me up one time, but they may, bruise me up a little bit, but then let me go and tell me stay out of trouble. I got 3 brothers. 2 of them they in jail, 1 dead at States. I got sisters too. I give you a scenario, Wayne and Mr. Panton, that this is a real convoluted, complicated situation when that youth stands in front of you now and you're trying to inject a sense of hope in his very complex life. Wayne is telling him, you need to first find out where you are. And he tell you, I know where I there. I'm in a bad situation, yeah. I'm in a situation where I feel hopeless. Because I'm not sure what happened to me. I'm 15 years old now, but I know they look down the road and see myself at 27 and 37 years old. I feel very hopeless. Now, I've been hearing about your session, so I'll come to your session now to sit down and hear what you got to tell me about this sense of hope and this sense of looking at my life as being half full. What would you say to that youth? Let's start with you, Wayne.
So before Brother Woody takes it, because I'm sure he's going to give us an entire scenario. I just want to kind of.
I don't want a long speech because as a youth, I know into speech. I don't want no long thing where you have to tell me about cow fat and response. I want you give me something where I make I work with. Where you give me.
Yeah, that the young boy right around the corner from my house.
Okay.
You know, who I see every day, who I talk to every day, and who tell me that why I tired of people to put me down, and I tired of, not to feel that I could do what I could do because I know what I have in me. The problem that we need to address. If you meet a beggar on the street, the first thing you put that boy not got no money. Okay, how about talking to that person in an inspiring way? Asking them, how their day is going. How about the conversation with them? Although you might not have $1 or $2 to put in that person's hand, let them feel appreciated for where they are in life. right? And that's the situation and the challenge that we have to face on a daily basis. Majority of these Johns and Joe around the corner where they go through this situation every day. They don't have the inspiration and the willpower to find that little glimpse, a light and hope for push forward. So instead of trying to help with resources that you might not have yourself, I might not have $5 for myself today when I jump out and start my day. But I could sit down with this guy and ask him, stuff that will inspire him to go out and probably try find out $5 for take back home for feed next year or four brother where he might not have the money. Right? But we don't do that. Many a times we kinda, create a small wound into a big cut because we're digging and we're digging and we're digging, not realizing that you don't necessarily have to give in a tangible way by through the physical resources, but giving an intangible way, inspire, motivate, spread optimism. So I just set up for set that when I get up the morning and I might be having a hard day, and after pass a hard day on to John, I could ask John how his day to go and what I could do for help he. I might give out money, but I could sit down and listen to her for 5 minutes what you're gonna get every day. He got sleep last night with the World Cup shoulders. I get up this morning with the World Cup shoulders. So how about thanking the Almighty Father for giving me another day to live? What did you do that was different and positive as opposed to the negativity and the challenges that you've had? And how about focusing on that 1% glimpse of hope as opposed to the 90%, 99% chance you have? So all of us have a responsibility to inspire and spread on a base, right? It doesn't have to be a tangible help. It could be something that you know you just greet that person. I mean, I was at a conference just I think 2 days ago, Good Deeds Day, and it's an international movement. They're in about 115 countries, and I was sitting in a room with representatives from Dominica, from Suriname, from Saint Lucia, from Trinidad and Tobago, a lot of Caribbean countries, and there were this one guy. His name was Dennis, and he was from Trinidad and Tobago, 28 years old, and he got up and he spoke like he was a 60-year-old. The intellect and the knowledge and the wisdom, but he gets that because of his community. He gets that because of his motivation. His life isn't any different than my life in terms of the challenges and the mishaps that happen on a daily basis. But he decided to take the opportunities and turn it into life. So that's what we have to do on a daily basis, Brian. I mean, the landscape I believe is that detrimental to youth right now. There's a lot of lacking of resources. And the reality is that the resources exist, but we just don't know how to reach and access the resources. And that's what I think as a brother in Belize, we have to just start spreading more optimism, conversations, community, collaboration. And it starts as you wake up in the morning. What can you do to inspire a brother who probably doesn't have what you on a daily basis? So I hope that answers your
All right.
question.
I'm going to ask Wayne to give us his view of it. Our guests this morning are from the Optimist Club. This is an international organization, we're being told, and this is the Belize faction of it. We have a life coach, Mr. Wayne Moody, who is a Belizean, and he's visiting Belize. He lives in the States, but he's visiting home. And we have Mr. Bernard Panton. Mr. Bernard Panton, who is, I guess, a life coach in training. That's what I heard from you just now, Bernard. But I want to hear now from Brother Wayne. And I asked you before the break to put it in the context that many people are very cynical when it comes to people who are bubbly and look full of hope and, hey, it's going to work out, it's all right. And so we have that old saying in Belize that full belly, they tell hungry belly, keep heart, man, keep heart, you know, work out for you, work out for you. So how do you deal with the cynic in these matters, Wayne?
Well, I want to first say I'm not visiting, I'm home.
Oh,
I'm not visit. I'm here. I'm here because I've given 1/3 of my life so far living in America, and the rest of my years is for the soil of Belize.
all right.
So I'm not visiting. I'm here. I relocated. That was a feat in itself.
All right.
The journey that I'm on personally, but I want to say right up front, I do not have an S on my chest. I'm not Superman.
All right.
So I meet people where they are, and I will love them from right where they are. And to tell you how practical it is, I met this young man last week for the first time. We sat, and he told me his story. He lives in the village, and his last year in ACC, he was getting up at 6 to get to ACC by 8. He finishes ACC at 4. He goes to a department store and works from 4 to 8, get on a bus to get back home by 9, up until 11 to do his homework, and that's what he did in his last year at ACC. Now, what do you do? What do you say to somebody like that? I am not a millionaire. I don't have $1 million, but what I can do, I'll do. And what I'm doing is supporting him. And I'm not saying this because I want to say make a name for myself, but I'm supporting him practically the way I can while he's now at sixth form. So to the person that is out there, that is where, like you said, the story of that person that you said is real. And one thing that is most impacting for me is when someone can really, really relate to what I'm going through. Because like you said, empty belly and full belly, people need to know that you can really, really identify with them. And when it comes to identify with the youth of Belize, I can. At 14 years old, my mom's life was snuffed by a police officer. I grew up with the hate and the anger. And if it was not because of the grace of God, I would have done what any young person would have wanted to do at 14. Get revenge. And when he walked out of the courthouse smiling at 14, my youngest brother, who doesn't like me to mention his name, wasn't even 3 yet. I had to come from that situation. So it's not that I'm speaking from a place of not having the experience. Where I'm at right now, I got to work my butt off in order to be surviving, in order like anybody else. But I do know this for a fact that I can speak with someone where they are. What I can give at the moment that I can give, I will give. What I won't give is an empty promise. What I won't be is another person that is telling them, hey, I'm going to do this for you, or I'm going to do this for you. Because promises that are not kept is what cause people to lose hope. Promises kept cause people to believe and have hope. So reference to that young person out there, and there are many. I had the opportunity to go on the south side since I've been back, and I see people living in situations that I honestly wouldn't want a dog to live in. And to think that I have a country where there is resources and have people living those conditions, what can I do? What can I do to make a difference? And what I can do, I'll do. But I won't say that I can provide the world. What I can do, I'll do. If I meet someone and I can give them something, I will give them, because I have need as well. I got to sustain my life as well, but I can't be so focused on myself that I'm not there for somebody else. So I'm not here to save the world. But the individual that comes in my spirit that I can influence and I can serve, I will. So reference to that young person, and there are many listening, many in the neighborhood where I know you are right now, and they're going through a lot of challenges, and we know it. We know that we've seen some of these young people because you and I have worked with some of them, whether it be the Carl or whether it be the Dana, who today they're in different places because somebody believed in them and someone gave to them what they needed in the moment. So the young people out there, again, if I steal because I'm hungry, that's something, But I'm not gonna be holding it over your head, because you got to survive. And I'm not saying that I'm gonna say go do something that is not legal, but you got to do what you got to do. And the young person out there who goes out there and they hustle because their brothers and sisters need to go to school and they're providing for them, they're doing the best they can. The question is, as a leader, as leaders, what are we doing to alleviate this problem? Because we're either going to be a part of the problem or we're going to be a part of the solution. And where I'm at right now, I want to be a part of the solution. I endeavor to be a part of the solution. I will do what I can with what I have, and I will give as much as I can right where I'm at. But it's about being a part of the solution. So I hope I come from the place, and I know this is not really what we're here for this morning.
No,
as far as
it is what we're here for this morning, because
as far as what I'm saying is that I know we need to make a pitch and say there is a fundraiser that we're doing so we can get more money, so we can do more of this stuff. And that's it.
I wouldn't have allowed you to come here and not explain exactly what this program is about, especially when, as I said, in fact, there's now a recent statistic out in the United States which says that the United States right now is at the most depressed, collectively depressed space that
I
that
agree.
country has ever been, because
I
it
agree.
had so much hope that things were going to go somewhere, and now 8 or 9 months later there's a lot of disappointment. And so this statistic is saying that depression has become almost a pandemic in some areas where people are just so frustrated with their situation. So optimism, and any group, and I would put religion in there, that comes to give you hope that as bad as it is, it's going to work out, has a very, very hard job to do that. Because
I agree.
most people will take it as saying, John, man, you just sell me dreams, boy. You want to finish talk to me, but when you done talk to me, I still hungry, and you going some way. So there's a level of almost like you're guilty if you look like you know to suffer like me. I may want, if you to suffer like me, all we collectively they talk about how bad things are and how we they cuss up the system, yeah. But when you look like you got something and then you to talk to me but have hope, there's a negative that comes out. And that's why I wanted to get both of you to look at that. Let me open up the phone lines as we continue the rest of the conversation, in the event anybody would like to call in and to say their piece on this matter. The number is 280-5848. 280-5848 if you have a question for Mr. Moody or for Mr. Panton. Let me go back now to your real reason why you wanted to be on the show today, and that is to deal with your fundraiser, which I understand from your message here is on September the 11th to the 17th, and that you will be featuring the show Makobe by our brother Ray Gongora. Here's the first call. Welcome, caller.
Good morning, brother.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, William. Good morning, Bernie.
I'm hoping
This
that
is
they're...
James Sparks Jr., the proverbial voice calling from the wilderness,
Yes.
trying to get a program that the government proposed, I would say over 5 years, near almost 10 years, to get the gang members land and get them on the farming. And the name of your program, your group, is telling me maybe you are the guys that can get this program going. Because I have been calling and pushing for this thing, really can tell you for how long. And I think it's a good thing, it will help. Bernie has been with hand in hand and he has been out in the field, so he will understand what I'm saying. We have not tried everything. I think that program will work because it will give these guys will be out there, they will be getting 3 meals and they will be working. And once you start planting crops and you reaping and you see the work that you can do with your hands and what you can get done, I think it's a very good program that we need to look into. I will leave you guys with it. Mary can explain that whole thing to you.
All right.
This program. I'll leave you guys with that. Good morning, Belize.
Yeah. All right. Good morning, sir. The number here is 280-5848. I'm not sure if you heard what the caller was saying. Did you?
Yeah, he's talking about a program where we can not just give someone a fish, but we can teach them to fish.
All right. So he's speaking specifically of a program we have here, excuse me, called the Leadership Intervention Unit. And that program, which started about 1.5 years ago, maybe 2 years now, had a component of taking youths back to the land. And it was supposed to be an arrangement with the Ministry of Agriculture and the group to recruit some youths out of that lifestyle, put them in a farming situation, and give them the training first, and then the financial support to make sure that they are productive. The project did not work according to plan. And this particular gentleman calls every so often to ask for an update on the plan. So he's now suggesting that maybe your group ought to take responsibility for something like this. I don't assume he's telling you take responsibility for LIU, but to maybe do a project like this. I think that's basically what he was saying. Would you like to comment on that?
Well, Brother Noor, like I said, I came home because I want to serve. Like I said, I don't have an S on my chest. And even as I've been navigating and meeting people, there were so many people that are saying, man, we could do with some help. We could do with some help. But I want to say that in any way, shape, or form I can make a contribution, I will, with everything that I'm actually doing already. And but we need to not just talk, but we need to deliver. And in order to deliver, I need to be clear with what it is would be say needed of me. But I will agree that we got to go back to the land. You know, you said something earlier about the depression in America, right? But I want to highlight something that is happening in America that is actually happening here too, because more than anybody else, who's being targeted in America right now are the people of melanin. And no matter where we are in the diaspora right now, it seems like there is an onslaught on us as a people of melanin. And that's where there is a challenge even here in our country. And I'm not a racist, but we have to acknowledge where we are as a people, especially people that are black. And I know we got to go back to the earth. We got to go back to the land. We got to take care of ourselves as far as providing food for ourselves. And I want to say here, in whatever way, shape, or form, someone can reach out to me and give me an idea of what is being done and what is believed that I could do to help. And in the capacity that I have, the time, and I have the energy, I want to serve.
Good, good. Panton, you want to jump in?
Yes, brother. What I was about bridge the gap with realization of what's happening and our goal, right? So every year we have this annual fundraiser, Optimist Club 501 Belize. This is our fourth year, and all of this monies that we raise goes back to the youth in the country of Belize, not only the city, but on a regional appeal, where we have the directors, collaborate with existing organizations and institutions and youth air community. We've planned this area for a month now, and I'm hard on them. This isn't something to applaud. We have minimal hands on, but we're burning ourselves up because we have an end goal. We don't want to reach our final destination and have a successful fundraiser. But I'm saying now it's because the point of having individuals and volunteer their time is something that needs to be taught, because through that volunteerism comes opportunities as well. And I just wanted to plug that the fundraiser is September 11th and 12th in Belize, the Bliss Center for Performing Arts, 13th in Dangriga, and 15th in Belmopan. Again, all of the proceeds that are raised from the fundraiser goes back to the programs that we have on a yearly basis. Now, what we are lacking in our country is individuals who will take the lead and take the charge, right? The LIU program, I just want to plug something very quick. I lived at Fazero for all of my probably left out there about a couple times. Lived in some great neighbors in neighborhoods in this, the Garden Kings. But I'm now back in Farbers Road, and I grew up in Farbers Road, and I saw one of my colleagues that I grew along with. The other day, like about a year ago, he was cleaning the side for one of the areas that we have a basketball court. And I said, man, nice to see you out at the work. Though this guy is a guy who is notoriously known in the streets. So I asked him, like, yo, wait opportunity for the boy that hooked me up. And I said, that's good. That's really amazing. And man, keep on. It really feel good to see him transition from where he was as it relates to his mindset and out in the streets cleaning. Fast forward 2 weeks after the man shut up and then kill her, right? In the same neighborhood. So his life that he was used to was being in all the dark crevices and the cut because he don't know to retire. He have so much people that he, violently started in his days. And now the IU component got him back to life in terms of giving back and making something of himself. Why I gave this story is because I believe that anybody who's trying to, well, not try, I can't use the word try, anybody who's doing great in Belize and in our community, they always need more assistance, they need more support. So we don't have to create something new. We take what exists and just kind of mend it to work. Because any situation, you venture into your house and sometimes more dungs. And if certain parts or elements of the structure isn't working, that's where you need to fix it. So a great idea for youths kind of being brought back into community that, you know, doesn't have best resume say. There's way that you actually identify back into society. You know, we look at acreage after acreage that exists in Belize. How about farming communities and taking these same youth, and build relations with them outside of the environment that they're used to, outside of the clean and the activity that exists, and create a consistent community movements and rapport among themselves, because that's what's been the youths who are telling that we ready for work, but we need it as well for our daily basis. So like I said, brother, I might go off for belly this morning, but man wake up, never eat last night, and never eat this morning again. So how about going back to farming, where some of these crops to the market on a daily basis and others goes in household and these individuals we love. So what we need to do is have more collaborative movements where organizations themselves can collaborate with the government. And sometimes it doesn't even take the government to give us anything, it's just an endorsement. If we are willing to work on ourselves as a community, the government will accept it. But the problem exists where everybody wants from the government. Where will the government get it from if we don't have the financial resources that we need? We're rich with abundance in terms of land, the ability for farm and the type of stuff, but we aren't doing it. So I just echo that we need to start working together. We need individuals in the community that needs the assistance to be there on a consistent basis, and that's what we're hoping through these organizational fundraising that we could start off by planting small seeds that will eventually be big trees. So it's landmark that we start out anyway, and this is our fair have fun. We have a cast coming from the diaspora, led by Ray Gongora, who, as Brother Moody is one of our founding members, who does this every year, giving back of themselves, and they are not asking anything back in return. All they want to see is that the seeds that they're sowing will eventually become trees in the country a bit. So that's where we are.
Yeah.
And we want to ask everyone to support the fundraiser that I always do on our base. And this
All right.
active that we've had the past 4 years.
Let's look at, in coming down to the close of our conversation, let's deal specifically with, you said the play was written by our brother Ray Gongora in Florida. This was the play that was done during the summit recently, the diaspora summit that was held. I think they premiered the play at that time. I might be wrong, but that's where my remembrance.
Yes.
And now you're saying it's going to be done again here in Belize next month on the 11th and the 12th, if I understand you, in Belize City.
Yes.
And then it goes on to Dangriga for the next day.
The third.
And
Yes.
is it in
And
Belmopan
14th in
also? Is it in Belmopan also,
Yes.
or just Belize City and Dangriga?
On the 4th in Belmopan.
It's also Belmopan. All right. And did I hear you say, Brother Panton, that actors like Mr. Gongra and them are coming in from the States for the show?
Yes, so every year, these theatrical pieces are written and directed by Rongara. We have a guest today from New York coming down, Miss Anna White,
All right.
Miss Gilagul, and all of these people are believers that in diaspora, right? They come home
Very good.
and
Very
we
good.
have our part of the cast, Neil, our number points, also a part play, and we have Miss Lisa Cado and Miss Darlie Gentle, who are also part of for the cast.
Yeah, part of it.
Um, so
Yeah.
it's really a collaboration of Belizeans back home
Yeah.
and Belizeans in diaspora that come together to create a theatrical play.
Yeah. How
Directed
much does the
by
play
us.
cost? How much does it cost to go in?
Right. So indeed, the tickets are $25 for general, reserve is $35, and then we also have some kind of seats at $100. That's in the city. And then
All
in
right.
Belmopan and Riga, the prices are only $25 across the board. So
I
that's
see.
that's the price. We also have the outlets to navigate particularly in Belize. You
Yeah.
can get from the express, cake by color, and the plus, the minutes,
Okay.
and also Roxbury. And the public from one songs
Somehow
and
we're
generally,
getting a little disturbance on your coming across there, brother. You're breaking up a little bit. But can you give us a phone number wherein people can call and get additional information, etc.?
so you can reach to me just at 6547.
Say that again.
They reach out to me by number at 15407.
That's not. For some reason, you are breaking up, brother Panton. So I'm not hearing it clearly. What that number is. Do you know the number, Wayne? Maybe your transmission is clearer.
Okay, let me give you Bernard's number.
Okay.
So, but I want to say that the team that is actually working on this, man, they get up at 4 in the morning to rehearse virtually.
Good.
So Bernard's number is 501-615-4047.
All right.
501-615-4047.
Okay.
And
All right. I
I
will
had a
repeat
chance
that
to
again
see
before
them
the show
rehearsing
is
virtually in
completed.
Zoom. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
One in California, two in Florida, one in Belize, and they're rehearsing for this play.
Yeah. That's dedication, but it's also telling us where technology is nowadays. Not true? Indeed.
Yes.
All right. Well,
Yes.
listen, let me get some final word. I'll start with you, Bernard. Just a couple of closing comments, and then we'll do the final closing with you, brother Wayne Moody.
Sure.
Bernard?
Sure, thanks. Thank you, bro. Are you hearing me now?
Yeah, yeah. It's just that for some reason yours is breaking up. It's not. But go ahead.
All right, I just started to tell you on XTV for having us. And one day that the work is on, and we are as an organization doing what we can. And I do believe that if we have more, organization coming together and collaborating and being effective for like these, it will definitely bring home vision that we have. We know, stop thinking and getting missed opportunity or because of the environment we are in and work with what we have to very good within ourselves. So we're putting as much as we can with this fundraising and giving back our community the best we can. So we encourage everyone to do the same, and we're always willing to commit and to assist others that want to be a part and probably know where to start. So thanks again for having us, and we definitely want to continue the conversation on your platform as months goes by because our fundraising work continues. So thanks again for having us, brother. And I just to plug again, I really support the Miss Fraser. It will be a theatrical play that will take place on September 11th and 12th in Belize to the Bless Center for Performing Arts, and then we go to Belmore Park and then the 13th and fun on 14th. Thanks.
Okay, sir. You got the final word, Mr. Moody.
Well, I want to say thank you, Nuri, for having us here, and I want to say that I'm here to serve. you and I are yet to sit down in person, and whatever there is that we can do, hey, let's do it because we love this country and we love God, and I think that's the common denominator.
That is the
And
common.
our contribution is key. And a little side note, I am so waiting for the general to be here because we've got more work to do, Nuri.
Yeah. Yeah. Going to bring the dream team back together. All right. Good. All right. Thank you very much, Wayne Moody, life coach. And thank you very much, Mr. Bernard Panton. We encourage you to, especially young people, to support the Optimist Club. And those of you who have the mentorship skill for some young people should also get involved in this. The numbers that you could use is 615-4047. Thank you very much, brothers.